But in every situation, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your request to God. Now, there's some things in this verse that seem like logical, that kind of make sense, right? That when we're anxious, that we should pray and that we should petition, that we should present our request to God, that when we're anxious about something, we should let God know about it. We should share our heart with him, that we should let him know the things that are on our mind, the things that we're worrying about, the things that we're anxious about, that that's appropriate and that makes sense, that that's logical, that when we're feeling anxious, that we should tell God about it because he's someone that can do something about it. Right? But the part that doesn't make sense to me is the part that's smack in the middle. He says, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God. Now, why does that stand out to me? Because in verse 6, he's writing up to people who are anxious. Like he is. He's in an anxious situation where he's in prison. He's writing to people in church that are experiencing anxiousness, that are in situations that are difficult. So why this sticks out to me is, what do you have to be thankful for? When you're in this situation that feels very anxiety-filled and worry-filled and very heavy, what do you have to be thankful for? The other part I get, prayer, petition, making your request to God, making your request known to God, that part I get. You have plenty to tell him, right? You're in a terrible situation. You're going through difficulties. You're going through conflict. You're going through things that you're wrestling with. That I understand. There's plenty to tell God about in that situation. But what do we have to be thankful for when we're in that kind of place? How do we not be anxious in any situation? How are we thankful in those kind of situations? We have to know that the Lord is near. We have to know that the Lord is in the middle of our difficulty, in the middle of our situation, in the middle of our storm, in the middle of our anxiousness, in the middle of our worry. Because when you look at your circumstances, you don't see that, you don't think that, you don't feel that. But this is where we have to demonstrate our faith and our belief and make a declaration in thanksgiving. Thank you, God, that you're present here amidst my difficult time. Thank you that you're with me and that you're here in the middle of the storm. Thank you that you see me, that you see all my difficult situations. You know and feel and experience all the pain and the hardship that I'm going through. You feel the anxiety, you feel the worry, you understand those things. And feeling those things are okay. Feeling those things are not a problem. It's actually when we start adopting them and engaging them and really accepting them and owning them, that's the problem. Feeling anxious is not the problem, but it's allowing ourselves to engage it. This is where we need the Lord to come in. This is where we need the Lord to come and to show his presence. And like I said, the situation won't scream that God is there. When you're looking at your circumstances and all things are going wrong, that's not going to highlight and say, God is here right now. But this is where we need to look at verse 6 and say, but I know he is. But I know he is. I gave that analogy a while ago when I talked about the weather. And I talked about when it's really cloudy and really gloomy and you can't see the sun. And remember I was saying that on a cloudy, gloomy day, the sun is exactly the same as it is on a day like today, when it's no clouds and the sun is shining. It's exactly the same. Just because the clouds are in the sky, it doesn't mean that the sun is not present. It doesn't mean that the sun is not near. And I think that's a helpful illustration. It's only because we can't see it, but we still know it's there. Just like on a cloudy day, when we look at all the clouds and the gray and the rain or whatever, and we can't see the sun, we still know the sun is there. If we stop and think about it, we still know the sun is there. When we're going through anxious times, when our situation is very heavy on us and weighs on us, and we are full of anxiousness and worry, we still know the sun is there. We still know Jesus is there. We still know he's present, and we need to be thankful. Because I think thanksgiving is the key to verse 6. Because there's plenty of times when I've been telling the Lord and crying out and telling him all of my anxious feelings and telling the Lord about all my anxious thoughts and my situations and asking the Lord to come and to change it and to deliver me and I prayed all those prayers over and over and over again, and nothing's really changed on the outside or on the inside. But when things have changed is when I recognize the Lord, and in step of faith, I pray a prayer of thanksgiving. Then something does change. Maybe not on the outside, but on the inside. Something happens on the inside when I pray a prayer of thanksgiving. I say, Lord, I know that you're here with me, even though I don't feel it, even though the clouds are in the sky so I can't see it. I know you're here, and so I'm going to praise you. I'm going to thank you. I'm going to thank you that you're here with me. That breaks something. That breaks the anxiousness that has a hold on you. That breaks the anxious thoughts that you can't get away from, that you are up at night thinking about and worrying about, that you wake up at 3 a.m. and you're thinking about. It breaks that. It breaks that. So do we want to have prayer and petition? Yes, we want to have prayer and petition. Do we want to make our requests known to God? Of course we do. Of course we want to share that. But to me, the key element when we do that is with thanksgiving. Thanksgiving will add the power to those prayers. It will really break the hold that anxiousness has on you because we need it.